I know we was talking about change, and let's see, what's one of your main beliefs on change?
The fact that it's the most constant thing that we know in the universe, and that's the fabric of like existence, is change. Because like everything is forever changing. You know, people that study the eye will always say it's like, you know, we're not moving. We just perceive a bunch of different scenes at one time, and it just makes a smooth transition. So it's like without change, there's no movement. You know, there's no flow. You know, there's no. And I was talking about the seasons, and I was like, there's only 2 seasons. To me, there's only 2 seasons, with the other 2 being transitions. I wouldn't call them seasons. So summer and winter, right? So fall is just the transition from summer to winter, and then spring is from winter to summer. And like I said, those are just transitions in between the 2 seasons.
I like how you're looking at this, yo. I like how you're looking at this. Nah, it's hot or cold. It's not the in-betweens. Yeah. Those are the transitions to getting to hot and the transitions to getting to cold.
Yeah.
We springing into the heat or we falling into the cold. I like this. Those ain't seasons, they transition.
Something's true is true all across the board. It's not just true in one area. Like truth is all across the board. Something could be true and that changes. Like we're in here for now. That's, you know, this is true that we're in here, but later on we won't be. So it's not truth.
That's not a truth.
Right.
I look at those things like, I call them facts. Something that's like a commonly agreed upon statement. It doesn't mean that it's true and pervading through like so many different types of dimensions, but we can agree on it in this setting. We don't have to get too deep with it. I got it.
I don't know why people are so apprehensive about change, because I know when people hear change, like presidents changing, change of the guard, change of anything, they just get this anxiety about life. Like, what would you say that is about, man? You're the Zen master over there.
Man, comforts. We're so tied to our wants and desires, the fleshly desires too. Man. So a lot of times it's like we get accustomed to our routines, accustomed to the things that we like to do. Like even me and my morning routine. Yeah, I want to get up and take my supplements, get my practice in, my meditation, brush my teeth. Like those things start to fill me. So when I don't get them, there's like a little bit of void, a little space, and you know, hopefully we don't fill it with destructive habits, which is typically what happens sometimes. But we gotta do something with it.
How do you think Zen helps you with that change? Like, does it show up when you have to make a change? Like, something throw your schedule off, like out of routine or whatever. Where does like your practice come in? Like on the everyday?
Man, my practice comes in literally from the start of the morning. My alarm goes off at 4 a.m. and it's like, so you can lay a little longer, but it's just gonna start to get into your day. You won't get your practice, and the practice isn't about getting a practice. It's about reserving time for yourself. It's about, this is my time, whether I get a full 2-hour practice in, hour and a half practice in, or if I just get a 30-minute meditation, or if I just BS through this time. But it's still the time that I reserve for myself. Because if I BS through the time, it's going to tell me a lot about me. I'm in the mind space not to be prompt, not to act. I'm in the mind space to BS. So I do need to sit with that and figure out why I don't want to progress, why I don't want to achieve whatever it is that the goals and accomplish the goals that I set out.
Yeah.
Like, what's holding me back? Where is the fear? Because that's what it is. So my practice starts early. If I don't get up before Jumi get up, then my meditation's a lot different because there's more activity in the room. My mind's gonna be then thinking about her, talking. Do I need to change a diaper, get her food? Her mom's getting up. It's like I don't have that time to myself.
Right.
So my practice starts early in the morning, and then it's important because that gives me the space to have that Zen later, that meditation and the practice earlier. And once I look at yoga as us putting ourselves in superficial, stressful situations to see how we deal with it. And then afterwards, after I wake up from rest, I'm like, dang, whew, I feel good. The bar has been set. Nobody's gonna beat me up as much as I just did today. Nobody's gonna make me feel more intense sensation than I've just made myself feel. So whenever it comes at me, whatever curveballs life tries to throw at me, all right, I'm gonna be able to just boom, just shrug that joint off and keep moving.
Only wake you up. You ain't even get a chance to. You ain't even get a chance to start your day. Like,
I ain't
what
even
that
hit
look
the
like?
bathroom yet, yo.
What
I
that
still
look
got
like?
pee. She crying in the room while I'm going to pee. That's what it looked like. So I'm like, early in the morning, I ain't even gonna start with this. I'm not gonna go in there because then you just gonna come over here and try to mess with me while I'm going to the bathroom. Let me brush my teeth, get myself together. And she really don't cry for real. She'll be like, "Wow." She'll knock on the door for a second. Mommy, Daddy, we'll be there in a minute. We're getting together.
Right.
And then she'll go and play or something. Right. But early in the morning. And other places, like we were talking about, change. And that's a change from my routine. But throughout the day, if I have anything planned on the schedule and it gets shifted, it used to get to the point where now I still got to get here. I don't know if I have enough time to get there. I don't know if I factor in traffic. I already told this person, I gave them my word, and now this person's asking, and it's like, I agreed to this before, but then we switched the date, so now it's like I got to let them down, or which one do I go with? Nah, yo. Hey, we right here. Whenever those challenging moments come up, whenever those changing plans come up, I have that space. Yeah. That space reserved for myself. Stop, take a breath, take a moment to evaluate. What do I need to do? And then just do it. Yeah.
Somebody's perspective was that Zen was more about like experience and like Stoicism is more about like logic. A good way to, you know what I'm saying, kind of narrow it down to like one word if you had to.
I like that.
Experiential, you know what I'm saying?
Because that's exactly what the yoga concept is. Yeah. It's like, it is the science, but they don't say, hey, do this and this will happen. No, do this. And the great thing about it is you can come to your own conclusions as opposed to having someone else tell you. Stoicism, I see what you're saying with logic. It's like, think about it, and here's a train of thought to follow to come to your conclusion. And Zen and yoga is more so along the lines of, I'll give you a scenario for you to follow out, and let's talk about it after. Yeah. It's like, let's create an existential experience so we can have a transformational experience. We can have something that we can talk about and reflect on and see the hit or miss. Because that's what I teach in the mornings at Sukha Center, the Ashtanga Mysore program. You do this. It's roughly the same practice, the same sequence each day, starting off, and you go back to the same poses each day, so you can see how you arrive and depart from each pose, and you can figure out, oh, I'm stepping forward. Weird. I don't know what it is. Let's say you keep practicing for that week, and then the next week it clicks. I'm doing something with my hip. What's happening with my hip? But before that time period of actually just flowing through that same thing over and over for our mind to connect to our body to connect with the energies, we just don't have the awareness built up. But over time, doing that same thing, the repetition allows us to actually facilitate like sustainable growth. Not just, oh, I got a little quick fix. It's like, nah, I'm building something in a direction, in my direction. Stoicism and Zen, I don't see him as a versus like you're saying.
Yeah.
I see him is daggone it. It might even have been that the white folk done saw the Asians and all their philosophies and was like, oh, so we can't call it Zen. I know, I got this, yo. Stoic. Yeah, let's use one of them Greek words. Yeah, yo, we stoic out this joint.
I feel like it's a way, because remember we was talking about freedom only exists within boundaries, and these boundaries and buckets are created to see where you end up. And everybody that feels like they're different from the world, it's like, you're not so different. You know, you're not so different from the world. It's like, oh, I'm special. Are you? Are you really?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, even in them wanting to be special, they'd be like, all right, list your characteristics. And then as they will list them, they will fall into one of these buckets. It's like, you're not so different from the world. You're not special. You know what I'm saying? It's just the only thing that would make you being special is how you affect others. And it's like, first you must know self in order to even express from self to another source, if you get what I'm saying. It's like, I can't see, because a lot of times people like, they can't see past themselves that they can help another person. It's like, if you think about it, some conversations always lead back to the person. Like, one person comes up with a problem, like, hey, I got a problem, tell me about it. This happened to me today. That happened to me too. Matter of fact, it happened like 2 years ago. Yada yada yada. And you know what I'm saying?
Back in it.
Right. So it's like, if you don't know self, you don't know like awareness, and then in awareness you got emotional intelligence, you got
emotional articulation. You can be intelligent about it, but if you can't get it out your mouth and communicate it to someone,
that's true. You bumping heads.
Yo.
Right. So it's like, to even know like a love language. It's like, what's the point of knowing that? It's to know self, but it's more so of, in relative to you, how would a person react to what you do as whatever your characteristics put you in. Like, my stepfather called me stoic for the first time like years ago. And that was funny you brought that up. I was like, stoic? What you talking about, stoic? I never knew what that meant. And then I looked it up. I was like, I guess so. Because it's like, things don't really affect me in ways that it may affect a Zen person, a Taoist, a Christian, a Muslim. It's like, because everybody's experience get translated through their filter,
through their beliefs,
and their beliefs. So it's like, I was like, yo, I guess I am stoic, because it's like, I process logically. It's like, all right, this happened. How do we? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when I was little, I broke my wrist, and it was like, all right, hospital, maybe ice. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I didn't process. Right? I'm like, my mommy. It's like, no crying for real. Like, that shit hurt.
Yeah.
But it's like,
what I gotta do?
What do I have to do next?
Yeah. I asked, like, what's like one of your main beliefs about change, and you were kind of getting on mine. And one of mine is the first thing we need for change to be possible is the belief that change can be possible. Otherwise, we're just gonna keep thinking in the same way and keep doing the same things we were. So some of those people who, you know, be a little off, everything's possible. I get what you're saying. I get it. We do have to believe that things are possible, but before we go head first into things, have a plan. Like, have a realistic plan of action to achieve whatever it is, even if it's like a really big dream. Like, just have a realistic plan. What's step one? Because then you can just hammer away at step one,
right?
And then you're on step two, and you still doing step one. Like, dang, I could put this to the side and keep moving forward.
You said you got to believe change is possible. It's like what aspect are you talking to in a person? Because if change is constant, like what in a person would have to be, well, how would they have to like accept change in that way that you're talking about? Because if it's constant and they don't really have to do nothing to change, it's like the world changes around them.
For self-directed, I like that because I didn't specify. I do agree that everything is changing around us, and if we're not moving, then we're regressing. We're not staying stagnant. If we're doing the bare minimum, we're staying stagnant. And the bare minimum is based on what we've been doing in our life. I look at it as if for someone to believe that change is possible within themselves and in a self-directed way, a consciously guided way, they have to believe it's possible. Because if you're trying to change from a procrastinator to someone who does stuff on the first as soon as we should, then it's gonna take that conscious, all right, I can be different. I'm not a procrastinator. And words are so powerful. I say it all the time. Words create the reality in which we perceive. So if you say that you're a procrastinator and call yourself a procrastinator, we start buying into that identity of being and becoming a procrastinator.
Right.
So now it's like we're on a karmic scale attracting those traits and giving ourselves more things to fight off and fend off, more obstacles that we put in our own way.
Yeah.
And that's where I think, you got to believe that change is possible. Otherwise, your spirit is gonna fight for the freedom, but your mind won't make the decision to get you out of the cage.
Even in the cage, there's an element of freedom. And that was just one of the...
And that's the comfort we was talking about earlier. Because inside that cave, the couch is right there. Netflix is right there. The fridge is right there. And what you stocked in that junk. So why would I risk the creature comforts to go out into questions? To go out into, now I gotta fight for it. Especially in today's society. Like, let's not even talk about like the lack of get up and get it that is actually going on, and the people who should be getting up to get it. It's a lot of people who are sitting on, I don't want to say talent as if they haven't worked for it, but myself included. But we can all use a little get up and get it in today's society. I'm not walking 40 miles, 20 miles to go places. I got a car. So according to history and now, I could even use some get up and go.
Yeah, for real.
Ooh. Another thing about change. To know where we going, we got to know where we coming from. And this kind of ties back into when I was talking about the practice and doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
It's important because it allows us to build up that awareness of where we are, and then we can know a true level of progress that we have.
Yo, that is dope, because I was just thinking about that, because it's like a map is no good if you don't know where you are, and a GPS is no good if you don't know where you're going. So it's like,
dang, yeah.
It's like,
I was having this convo literally last night. Today's Tuesday. Last night on book club about challenges. It wasn't necessarily about challenges. This was like a tangent that we went on.
Yeah.
And it was like, essentially, the summary was, the more challenges, the more better. The more better.
I like more better.
It was like, but can you really say that the more challenges, the better? I was like, yeah, because I seriously get better with each challenge. The challenges that life throws my way, everything from being able to handle those misnomers, those schedule changes, while still handle the responsibilities of picking people up, of making sure that people have the things that they need to have, making sure things are planned and ordered and got to the person in time for them to handle whatever their responsibilities were. Like, even the things that I have absolutely no control over, and
Mhm.
someone else messes up, and then I gotta find a way to like makeshift and MacGyver and fix it.
Yeah.
It's like those make me better, because especially when it comes to like my family and stuff. Something happens, G's at work, and I gotta go get Jooms, or I gotta be with Jooms and take her to work. It's like, it's just making me a better person all around, not just in the facet of like work, not just in the facet of a romantic relationship, but all around. It's transferable life skills.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I wanted to speak about when it comes to change, one, like, this isn't, I'm not gonna say this is the opposite to change, but discipline. It's a great force that works in unison with change.
Mm-hmm.
And it allows us to learn things about ourselves, because we got these things in yoga called the yamas and niyamas, and those are like observances. They're the first two limbs of yoga.
Mm-hmm.
And they're observances we place on ourselves so we can see how energy leaks out, and there's restrictions that we place on ourselves to stop energy from leaking out. However, the observances are how we adhere to our disciplines with regularity. That's it. How do we adhere to being clean? Cleanliness is one of the niyamas. Another one is contentment. How am I being content within myself, not satiated by delicious mushroom, cola flavored mushrooms?
Hey, you know, cola is actually, I don't even want to, you going to look at the, it's a like an acorn nut or whatever.
Really?
That's called cola. It's called a cola nut, and I was like, that's what gives it the flavor. I was like, I thought it was just some like
made up flavor.
It's actually a thing, bro.
Okay.
I changed that day.
I'm changing now. Do you not see it? Life changing. I miss the bees.
Nah, for real, bro.
Okay, that was a mind blown out. All right, I don't even know where I was in my train of thought. That thing left the station.
Thinking deeply on that.
On that cola. That
right,
was
like, that's something.
Bro. I thought it was a flavor. They just like,
I did.
Let's spill some stuff and mix it up. Cola. It's brown. Sure. How'd you even get the name? Like Coke in there? It was,
Coke and
the cola nut.
Like, let's throw a little bit of this with that natural stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sniff.
This is a little natural too. Before we cut it,
I think they had it on the table, accidentally scooped it in some drinks. That could have been the way, bro.
It was like,
Coke and cola, bro. What you doing?
That's hidden, and people are gonna love it.
That day, they changed. I'm trying to tell you.
So we'll have addicts everywhere. Let's put caffeine and Coke in there.
Bro, what?
Dang, yo. People's systems was on 1,000,000. Oh my gosh.
How you think they built the country?
Message.
Coca-Cola. But they not paying us either. They need to pay.
Yeah, I'm doing.
We can talk consciously about Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Coke and Alive. Y'all ain't off the list as well. You still right there.
Yeah.
That's what you could look like.
Yeah.
Discipline is a powerful force in unison with change. Mm-hmm. It allows us to exactly see where we're coming from, to see where we're going, to see where we are on the path, to allow our mindset to stay positive. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not saying yes, it would be great to have the mindset to withstand, the mental fortitude to withstand all the challenges that life comes at us without even a hint of, damn, this is tough, or this is a lot. Realistically speaking, good luck. It's going to be hard pressed to find that. Yeah. So, discipline. Know where we are on the path. We can stay motivated. Yeah. And we're doing it for the discipline, not for the feel. We're doing it for the just to hold to our routines with regularity, not to just, all right, I don't want to do it today. Just like I said the other day, how can we save? I mean, just like I said earlier, how can we save time for ourselves? How can we create time in the day for ourselves?
Yeah, and I think discipline builds these principles and virtues, because it's like, yo, I do this. Like, I'm not about to, like, your consistency is discipline. You be like, bro, I don't care. Yo, he has a book club, but every Monday,
and meditations every Thursday.
Rain, sleet, shine, apocalypse. My man there, bro. You know what I'm saying? Tap in. You feel me? But it's saying that becomes your character, and that becomes instilled in you as a principle and becomes a pillar. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I feel like discipline is the root to what these pillars are in, like, Stoicism and Zen and Taoism. It all starts with discipline. It's the what you call it, the main ingredient, the catalyst to all that. So it's like, reverse engineering all these principles, and you go back, like, at the root is discipline, and somebody that said, I'm not doing this, or I'm doing this no matter what. A lot of people die like that. Plato, you know what I'm saying?
What I'm getting from you, so just rock with me for a second. So you said everything's changing. You said discipline is the cornerstone, essentially, of growth. We also talked about conscious direction of our change in our life. All these things are seeming to come together. Like, everything is changing, and that discipline is us choosing one thing not to change. Within the sea of everything that's adjusting and changing. And then we're seeing what builds from the stagnation of that. What builds on top of it, on top of those routines, on top of that mindset, on top of that daily action of getting up at the same time, doing those same things. Ooh.
So discipline could be the holding pattern.
Yeah, like the linchpin of the situation, of within the change. I mean, it damn sure looks like it. It sounds like it. Like from talking. That's why I was.
It's like
You see why I had to lean back on that one. I was like,
So it's like the spectrum is, you can be lazy and go for the easy, like they say, low hanging fruit, or you can always climb to get the highest of the high, and it's like a never ending climb. As you climb, you get better, you get better results. Like more challenges. It's like the reward for challenges is more challenges. It's like, okay,
yeah, because you keep getting better. It's just like Dragon Ball Z. They talk about the Saiyans. Oh, as soon as you get beaten close to death and then you recover, you've learned everything from that moment close to death. You've learned so much about yourself,
bro. Let me tell you, I had a discussion with my man, bro. He said, I was like, yo, nobody ever just dies in that joint. It's like they always power up. It's like, yo, you cannot
right at death.
Right, they were like, oh, you need to see you didn't see my greatest form yet.
My final form, my ass. Will this do? Yeah, I think it'll be enough.
And then he get beat again. He was like, oh, you thought that was it. This is it.
I was like, one up again.
Bro, the one-up game in Dragon Ball Z is vicious.
Unstoppable.
It's like,
it's
bro,
off the charts.
You can't beat him, bro. It's like, it's like that dude in a horror movie that you think you killed with a chainsaw, and he just opened his eyes at the end. It's like, bro, why? Like, that. Like, what you doing?
Yeah, just stay dead, too.
But, like, yeah, so it's like you got hedonism and pushing off into all the pleasures. Damn. So I'm thinking, because it's coming together, it's like discipline are the seeds. The discipline is the farmer who planted the seeds, and hedonism is just the people that eat the fruit.
Mm-hmm. They ain't going no way.
But it can run out, but you don't know how to plant. You don't have the discipline to plant the seeds. You just want to steal fruit. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But once that farmer moves to another place, starts farming over there, your land start drying up, it's okay. I got 1 million apples. You know what I'm saying? After some days, some rot, some, you consume some, and then you don't have nothing left. You just don't. I don't know. I'm just trying to put it in the context because I like that spectrum. You know what I'm saying? We just came up because it's like laziness and just going for pleasure is something you don't change.
Yeah. And
then discipline to do the things you do and stand on what you got to stand on to stay solid don't change. But and those are the things that are holding patterns, but they holding patterns in either this or that.
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like what we was talking about. In the book club, it could kind of be ascribed to like a growth or a malleable mindset or a fixed mindset. Mm-hmm. Because like the fixed mindset are those things that we choose not to change. Like I mentioned, for me, my morning routine, the order might get a little switched up here or there, but I'm doing the same things every morning. It is what it is, but I'm fixed in that. Am I willing to change it? Yes, but is it going to take a little bit? Yeah, because that's a large portion of who I am. And the same thing goes for growth and the malleable concept. Like some things I don't really care about. What are we going to eat today? I don't know. I'm not a foodie. When the food comes, I'll consume it. What's on the menu? Oh, we don't have a menu. I probably won't eat until I get home then. I'm not really thinking about it. It is what it is. You got some drink? You said you got some Alive? You said you have some Coca-Cola? You said you have some sponsorship for us? Sponsorships.
So I was a person that just ate, talk about my journey to being plant-based or whatever. That was a big change in my life because if you think about it, I had to be intentional with my gateway, which, you know what I'm saying, everything you eat with your mouth, right? You know what I'm saying? Or you breathe or absorb with your skin, largest organ, right? But you mainly consume nutrients through orally. So it's like I feel like you really got to be careful with what you put in, because what you put in is what you get out, right?
Man, what you put in is what. The funny thing is, we're not our bodies. Like, we have a body,
right?
And we accumulated this body since we've been here,
right?
So whatever we eat is building us. So what you're saying along the lines of like the plant-based or a healthy diet in general, it doesn't matter. I don't care what someone calls a healthy diet, right, as long as it allows them to produce whatever they need to produce and at the rate they need to produce it. Mm. Don't care what it is. But that would be a healthy diet. Now, if they could change their diet and make them a little bit more efficient with that, that would be a healthier diet. I know some people who are straight up carnivores. They'll go get a burger, take off the bread, and give me the fries. I love the fries.
Fries are bomb, bro.
Potatoes in any form, yo. But for them, that's a healthy meal. And they're ripped, like completely ripped. Great shape.
See, I feel like thinking like that is like if a drop of water dropped in the middle of a pond, the ripple hasn't reached the shore yet. They just looking at the drop. They not thinking about the ripple on down the line. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like to not forecast that. One of my mentors says, the saying is eat an apple a day, keep the doctor away, right? So let's reverse it. He said eat a Hershey bar a day, will keep the doctor away, right? At first you could be neck and neck. We know that, right? we know this. But it's like the person to eat the chocolate bar and the person to eat the apple, they both look the same on the first day, second day, 3 months, a year, 2 years. It starts accumulating,
not
right?
Even in 2 years, but I feel you.
Right. So like I said, it starts accumulating, and then over time, like I said, it's decisions over time. It's like investing. it's equivalent to investing, because investing takes time. Like, you know, all investors would say, you know, you need time, you got to be patient.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, some of this food don't taste that great, but you know what I'm saying, I'm building over time. But like, if you eat the bullshit over time, it's like we're in the now as we are now, but we don't see over time. But that 600-pound life person, you can see it on TV. You can see the.
Yeah, I was about to say that 600-pound life show. You see it.
But think about it. People are consuming the exact same thing this person is consuming, but a lesser rate. But just think over time, you can. They, you know, morbid. I don't even know if they would call that obese. Like, what's past that? I don't even know that. You know what I'm saying?
I think once you hit morbid, you're just there. But apparently, I feel like a lot of Americans are there.
Had to, I'm there.
It is what it is.
No, for real. But it's like, we gotta think about the accumulation. Like, you put trash gas in your car, over time it builds up gunk. You know what I'm saying? Everything is true across the board. If it's true for a car that consumes, if it's true for an animal consumes, if you can see a person on TV that's 600 pounds overweight, and if you look at what they eating, if that's on your table, you like, damn. You know what I'm saying? That could actually be you in 5 years or whatever, however long it takes.
So
you know what I'm saying?
When it comes to diet, because I'm one of the apparently weird yogis, because everyone thinks I'm vegan. Nah, I eat food. Give me the meats. Give me all the foods. I don't dairy. What's up? Let's try it in moderation. I also intermittently fast 7 days a week. Don't eat between the hours of 12 and like 12 a.m. and 2 p.m.
You got a construct though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So there's more to it than that. So it's a lot about lifestyle, and that's what I wanted to get on, because the person who is a carnivore, I mean, he's in the gym 7 days a week for at least 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
It's a different life. It's a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
So when I speak on like healthier, I can't come and tell you what is right for you.
Right.
But I can see patterns and habits and know how things interplay within the human body,
right,
and can suggest some things that typically work or will give a little bit more efficient results.
Yeah.
And that's where I go with the healthier. I try not to change people's beliefs. I create experiences for people to make the adjustment on their own. Right.
And I feel like that comes with knowledge itself again, right? Yeah. Because, you know, you get your blood work done. It's one of my mentors. He can't eat nothing but like beef. Like he has like a deficiency, what's that? Immune deficiency, where like eating the carnivore diet like changed his life. Like he said, he can sleep better. Like you said, but to do that and not know you in that, you know what I'm saying? But you, like I said, you got a construct. You got time windows. You have like you have something in place. You feel me? But it's like Tim Ferriss, the author of 4 Hour Work Week. This dude, like you go on this podcast, you go read a book. Like he's got blood work done, keto, all that to kind of know what he is. But it's like all these tests. It's like, if you think about it, knowing yourself, some people don't even know their blood type. You know what I'm saying?
That's me. Damn, this is the second time today this came up. Keep
For
going,
real?
man. Yeah, this is the second time today.
But,
I gotta get that though. I heard this on Amazon.
But it's like
to sponsorship.
Get it. So to not know your blood type, to not know maybe like what's dominant in your genes. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, knowing that changes things. Just like people on YouTube, they knowing their analytics changes how they produce. Yeah. So it's like, if something's not working, I need to change something. You feel me? But it's like, it's crazy in the body. Like when we talk diet and lifestyle, it's like some people, they don't know that, so they won't ever change. They'll just keep holding pattern. But like, you don't know if it's a good or bad holding pattern until later though. Like when you develop the diabetes or whatever. So if you ever seen Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead? It's a documentary of a dude that he had bread. He was like a millionaire, but he was eating all the bad stuff. Like he was on like 16, 17 medications. It could be more or less. I don't know the exact number.
Whew.
But he went on nothing but juice. He juiced for 90 days, got off all his medication, all his rashes disappeared. It's like he had to go through that, but say he wasn't strong enough to like challenge himself, right?
To actually go through that detox.
To go through the detox and then remove it. So now he's been on that side, and you know, I drive trucks where we are thought to have the worst diets and whatever. I know people, they stop at McDonald's like it's,
oh man, yo,
like it's nothing.
Ooh,
But I had to change personally because it's like it's readily available or whatever. I found a little spot where I can get veggie rice and vegetables. I'm like, they look at me like, oh, you eating that rabbit food?
Yeah, that's what my dad called it too.
I'm like, bro, 5 years, watch your ass.
5 years? What you talking about? After you finish eating it,
they get the prick in their finger, putting it on a little joint. I'm like, wow.
Now, after you finish eating it, eat some McDonald's, eat some of that, or some heavy sluggish food, or eat some like you said, veggies and rice. Veggies and rice, you're gonna be full. You won't be like typically stuffed to the point where you feel like you're gonna bust. You're gonna be good to go. You're not gonna be weighed down. A lot of times, and this I feel like it has something to do with your lifestyle as well, like going to the gym, working out, your mindset towards things. You'll be able to push through a little bit of the energy that it takes to create more digestive fire.
Yes.
Because you have to process the meat that you put in there. You're putting it in there.
Look, your man, your boy, Sadhguru.
Oh, yeah.
Man, he said, this is what he said. Don't quote me on it, but it was like in the likeness of, right? He said, like, eating, like consuming animals, that's a complex organism, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then me and my boy Quest, we argue over what's a complex organism. He say plants. I was like, plants isn't complex at all. You know what I'm saying? As it, you know what I'm saying? Because us, we have like serotonin and all that inside of us, and it affects our muscles and our reactions.
We have muscles.
Right, you know what I'm saying? That's a good point. Yeah. Right. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Plants got like cell walls and structure to it, but it's simple. It's simple because we go past the cell walls. Like you said, muscles and fibers and tissues and
fascia.
You know about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he says, you know, the emotion of the animal, like that's why you can't eat crabs when they dead, because they releases a toxin. Right? That's why you ever see people who eat crabs, they like, nah, throw it away. It was dead. So it's like if it's dead and it hasn't been cracked yet, that means it released the toxin, which makes it poisonous, right? So it's like eating a complex organism, it starts to affect you. Where do you think the hormones in that muscle goes? You know what I'm saying? You are what you eat. They didn't create that for nothing. Yeah. So it's like, in my thinking of it, like it kind of changed. I was like, dang. You know what I'm saying? Where does that hormones go? Where does that feeling of being scared goes? You know what I'm saying? Where does the feeling of in the blood, in the meat, bruh? And it's like, where does that go? It goes, is infused in you.
So this is even more of a caveat on the meat eaters that I know. Yeah. The heavy meat eaters. Yeah. The damn near carnivores to the carnivores. There's some they've accepted it. Yeah. And then there's others that are like, nah, I meat it every week. I know it's poison out there, so they'll get like a whole cow slaughtered. That's their meat for the year, right? Or a year and a half. It depends on the size of the family.
Talking about here?
Yeah, here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can order them jokes up, yo. Yo, Padme. You don't have to worry about that.
Nah. I'm about to say, I don't be like, ew. But yeah,
they chop them joints up. They throw it in the deep freezer, pull them out on like special occasions, and when they ready to just cook them. Yeah. Pounds, like it's almost 200 pounds of meat, yo.
Bro, I can see geography being the big proponent of that because in like very cold climates they don't have vegetation, so they have to eat that like blood sausage and like all that. I can get that, you know what I'm saying, but that's like adapting to where you live. And then in Africa, like where the most, you know what I'm saying, you know, you see them hunting, you know, hyena hunting, whatever, but that makes up probably, I don't know, don't give me the line, you know what I'm saying, it makes up a smaller portion of their meals. So it's like in Asian culture, you know, they eat the live octopus, but it's like that's a small portion of it. It's like 10% or whatever. But it's like a lot of cultures just eat a whole bunch of veggies, a whole bunch of that, but
grains.
Man, it's like, and then the science is out on it. It's like, yo, where will people end up later on in life? Because like you said, regret. It's like that's one of the things you can't really take back, but you kind of work at it or whatever.
I'm telling you, that's why one of the things, there's this guy named Sridhar Mitra, and he is like pushing 90 now, still teaching classes in New York and virtual, and doing like no headstands, just standing there on his head, just balanced. Right. Meanwhile, I got two hands on you. Let's one hand on you, and he's like pushing 90, still doing this. Yeah, that's one of the reasons when we was talking about discipline being like the linchpin for what we want to keep together. I see him, and that's the motivation in those times when I don't want to get up in the morning to practice. Nah, I want to be 90 and able to move. I don't want to die soon. Life is lit, yo. I don't want to die soon. I want to be here. Right. But I don't want to be immobile.
Looking forward.
So how am I going to how can I like keep this flexibility, keep this mobility that I currently have through all these ripples of time?
How does your become the Floating Yogi? Did you think about this before you started, or like what happened to get you on this road to want to be whatever you wanted to be when you entered it? Or like what was that? What that look like, man? I think we got
I did not come into it saying I wanted to be the Floating Yogi. I didn't even come up with the name. Someone came up with it for me. They're like, "Oh, you're like the Floating Yogi." I like that. Let me Google it and see if this is taken. It is not. Let's get the Cash App. Nope, the Cash App's taken. Let's get the Venmo, the Twitter, the Twitch, the YouTube, the Facebook. Let's run the gambit. But that's what got me into it. But what got me into that idea of yoga would be anime, hardcore anime.
Which one?
Oh,
the crowd wants to know which anime, brother.
The heaviest one would be Dragon Ball Z.
They did yoga? Check it.
Absolutely. They meditated. What? They meditated. They practiced sparred. Yeah. Which are each punch is a pose, essentially. Each block is a pose.
So what made you do yoga as opposed to like start punching shit?
Because they were the meditation. They was talking about it's not physical strength that they're using to beat people up, because you see people who are much smaller than the person they're fighting and they whoop their ass. Yeah. So y'all got some other type of energy behind this. Oh, you'll get that in meditation. Oh, you charge your spiritual pressure, your chi, your prana in meditation, huh? All right. I need to figure out about meditation. What's meditation? Yoga. And I was like, oh, okay. Yoga will get me that. Union of the mind, body, and breath is what yoga is. Mind, body, and energies. I can rock with that. And they mentioned yoga in a couple episodes. Excuse me. In a couple different animes like Yu Yu Hakusho and stuff as well. And then I was like, all right, let me give it a shot. First class, I was not vibing with it, yo. I went to a slow flow class. We talking and breathe. Spark energy through your fingertips. Let your heart shine bright. I'm like, this is exactly what they tell me yoga is. Just white women talking about feeling good and breathing. I had no resonance with it. Just absolutely none. But I do everything twice. I dab on it, and I'm out. Done with it. So the second class was an Ashtanga class. Mind you, I did not research any of this shit. I did not say, what is a vinyasa slow flow? What is a Ashtanga yoga class? No. This fits my schedule. I'll be there. Sign up. And that junk wore me out, yo. Oh man, it was like an hour and a half, like a 90-minute, 75-minute class. At the end, they have this pose called Savasana or rest. And you just lay there like a starfish for like, a couple minutes or so. I don't know how long I was there. I tapped out. I tapped out of this universe. All the way out. And they like so far out. They wake up, he does like a whole spiel, they do a whole om situation, and I am snoring in the background, yo.
Man.
Yo. So after they owned out and everything, the teacher came over to me, shook me, woke me up, and he was like, hey. I'm like, trying to pull everything together, pull my life together. He was like, whoa, it's okay, man. Just chill out. Just take your time. You have about 15 minutes till the next class. Feel free to lay here. If you have any questions, let me know. We can talk about it. Other than that, we'll be back next week.
Right.
So I grabbed my shit fast as I can. Speedball out of there. On the way out, I just felt high. I felt high. Like I had my knees bone on bone, and I felt absolutely no pain. Absolutely none. It was glorious. And I was just like, yeah.
A change.
Hooked. Yeah.
A change happened.
I'm hooked. First class ain't do it. It was the second one that hooked me. And then I had it was repeatable results. That was the beautiful thing about it. I was talking about yoga being a science. I flow through it. It doesn't mean that when I flow through it, I feel phenomenal. No. But I guarantee when I wake up after the rest, I feel phenomenal, or at least a lot better than I did before I took the class or started practicing.
You still feel like that to this day
to
with
this day, it gets deeper.
So it's like a high
that gets higher. Yeah. And it ain't even like they can charge you for the shit.
Man, can't back that up.
Man.
My man out here, hey, he the plug.
Hey, I got it by the pound. I'm trying to tell you how much you trying to lose / gain, if you feel me. You picking up what I'm putting down. Bars, come on. Didn't even think about it as bars. Those bars. We'll see it on the playback.
Nah, man, that's interesting, man, how you got into it. And it's interesting how somebody gave you your name, just like somebody gave me my name. One of my friends from high school is like, very similar story, talking about you're like a floating yogi. It was like, I was just saying whatever I was saying. I think we was talking about back to center. This was before like I even knew like yoga and all that. We were just talking about like whatever you do, it gotta come back. And then do it again and then come back. And then it's like that's the muscle memory and all that. So I was just spitting on that. Just like she was like, yo, you're like a mind mogul. I was like,
run that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like I like how we embrace what's been given to us, and we were conscious enough to be like, okay, because it's like what they say, what's meant for you will be for you, and then you'll know it when it shows up. And that's something I definitely realized. I was like, I like that. Same thing.
I was like,
no.
Let me check that joint out real quick.
Yeah. Right, and it's like perfectly. Like you said, we didn't want to fall into the category, but it's like it It was presented to us. It dubbed the Floating Yogi, and I dubbed the
Mind Mogul.
Right, man. So I like this, man. Two people just coming together. Like I said, just the fact that we didn't choose it, it chose us. It chose us. Is the thing to me. Now, like, yo, I rock with that.
Yeah,
I really rock with that.
I know a lot of people who was like, nah, this is what I had in mind. And it's like, they're living out a different dream. For me, it's kind of like, we all mixing and making it. All the people who mean something, who are a part of my life and everything, we all co-creating this thing together. Because y'all input means something. It's impactful. It helps me to make the decisions that I make. Not to say I need it to make a decision, but if I know my friend likes shooting pool, and I enjoy it, I don't dislike it. It could be a good time here and there. Let's say that's my mindset. I'm gonna go hang with him and play some pool. It ain't hurting me. You gonna enjoy it. Let's go have a good time.
Yeah.
See you in your element. When you let people be in their element, you get to see them for who they truly are, and you really get to see them shine. Mm-hmm. And for me, that's motivating for me, because I get to see whatever makes them unique, whatever makes them like special about what they do, whatever it is. I get to see them in the act as opposed to like after everything's done. Yeah, like I get to see them go through the struggle and how they overcome the struggle. And sometimes I don't even see it as a struggle. I'm like, dang, you was flowing that whole time. Man, this piece really pissed me off. I was working on that. Now I'm like, damn, you stoic as shit. All right, okay. I did not know that you were struggling on that. Yeah. But I know for the next time now.
Yeah. So it's like you get to see people in their coffee, right? Mm-hmm. That's funny because we was talking about coffee before we came into the studio. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He said he's bougie with his coffee. I do 7-Eleven coffee just because it's convenient, it's open, it's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? It's coffee. You know what I'm saying? All coffees, I guess, ain't created. He's a Starbucks guy.
Absolutely not a Starbucks guy.
What?
Absolutely. Pete's? I am a Pete's guy. Dang it. I'm a Pete's guy. However, I'm bougie. I got the espresso machine at the house.
Yes. The espresso.
Yeah, the espresso. I got the Keurig too. And an espresso machine. So with the milk frother and all that. Yeah.
So, part of your routine. My man said, bro, I'm gonna need some of this.
We gonna get a little bit a little push it down. Bloop. 2 cups, milk going in, frost. What you say? Splash that in there, pour a little spritz of the white poison. It's got me right.
That was an adventure right there, man.
It was. We went on it too. I was like, no, we're finishing this.
Nah, for real. He was like, look, we gonna whip it up, but it take me into that story I said I was talking about in my episode 2 about the father that was a chef and the son. You know, he put carrots in one pot, eggs in another pot, and then coffee beans in another pot. Man, check out the episode 2 of Gym Class. You feel me? To get the rest of that story. But it's funny that we talk about coffee and that ends up being the one changing its environment. You know, you pour out carrot water. Nobody want to drink that. You pour out egg water. Ain't nobody drinking that.
Nobody touching that.
But you pour out water from coffee beans. It is what it is. It's a beautiful thing. That's the product. It changed this environment.
And not itself.
Woo!
Y'all might want to check out that episode.
Check it out, man.
Tagged on the screen on this. Don't go up.
Somewhere, man. But we just talking about change, man. And I appreciate y'all for, man, tuning in. We got Jarrick, the Floating Yogi, man. Check him out. thefloatingyogi.com. Phenomenal guy, man. He's definitely gonna be a part of this network, man, because your network is your net worth, right?
Come on, man.
So we gonna do some more things, man. So this is just the first conversation. You know, we just talking, but you know, soon y'all get to know more about him, more what he does, more how what he does can change your life because it's yoga relative to you. You know what I'm saying? And check out his book club too, man. Like, come into the Zoom room. They'll send you a link. You know what I'm saying? He's also on, Facebook. He's also on Instagram.
YouTube,
He goes live.
Instagram.
Follow him.
Ooh, and by the way, the book club and the meditations, those are services of UE, which is a nonprofit, urban yogic wellness and education. We're restructuring how we see health and wellness in the community, bringing the power of healing and evolution back to the individual, one healthy habit at a time. Nothing to overwhelm you, just something you could do. I could feel this, just like we were talking about that self-directed change.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I could feel this. I can get with this. I can keep doing this. Once you got that, let's add the next one.
Man, he's amazing, man. When I first met him, it was just on some, when somebody was like, yo, the Floating Yogi gonna be here. I'm like, what? Who? Bro, I was like, yo. But it's like, showed up, real gracious. But then it's like when you see him in his element, when you see him in his coffee, right? Changing everything.
Changing environment.
You know what I'm saying? Putting some froth on it. You know what I'm saying? You really gonna see him whip up a good cup of that yogi joke.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So listen, stay tuned. We got more for you to come. Holla at Jarrick. Holla at me. Tune in. Till peace.